Hello, welcome to Good Work Now. I'm Dr. Brian Moffitt. People communicate based on their generation. And each generation has unique values, expectations, motivations, habits. And for the first time in American history, we have 4 generations working side by side in the workplace. So whatever your role at work, it's important that you understand the generations, what motivates them, and what you can do to be more effective at communicating with them and developing relationships. I am very pleased to welcome to our show today Terri Bianco. She is a published author, facilitator, trainer, executive coach, and president of TB Enterprises. Thanks so much, Terri, for being on the show today.
I'm delighted to be here, Brian. I love your show. I think it's very useful, very appropriate and timely.
Well, thank you for watching. I appreciate that. And Terri and I are going to talk about the 4 generations in the workplace and some tips that you can take away and start using at work tomorrow. Let's go ahead and now take some time to go through each of the generations and dive a little deeper.
But the traditionalist, it was the time of life where people sort of kept to themselves. They didn't share a lot of their information. They were, loose lips sink ships was one of their phrases. They are also make do and don't waste not, want not kind of thing, very impacted. Even if they weren't in the Depression, they were impacted by the Depression era. And seeing how you need to save, you need to get a job, and if you got a good job, it didn't matter if you liked it or not. You stayed with that job and you raised your family, and women don't go to the workplace, men do.
What percentage of the traditionalists is still in the workplaase these days?
I think it's about 3%.
3%. So it's not high.
Yeah.
But they have left, as we talked about, a legacy. So some of they've left these policies in place, or these infrastructures in place. Values.
Right.
And so if you're a worker in the workplace and you sense that maybe there's some traditionalist legacy value policies in place, or that there's still some traditionalists working there, any tips on how a non-traditionalist might approach someone from that age group?
To certainly honor their legacy and to respect that legacy. And I think a motivation for a traditionalist, and if you're in a workplace where that person is your boss or whatever, even though they keep to themselves, they would love to pass it on. They would love to be asked, how do you do things? And speaking of today's economy, the traditionalists can give us a lot of good information about how to save and how to salt that money away, but very frugal, things to do.
Exactly.
So very valuable that way.
Let's now move on to the baby boomers, which is very popular. Well, you and I assume we're in that category.
Well, the boomers, as I mentioned, they had a big impact on society, and they were their whole outlook is to be optimistic and to change the world. And they had these new frontiers. The war was over. There was prosperity. That we were putting people on the moon.
Star Trek.
Yes, space travel was big. Boomers really want to have a stellar career. They want to rise vertically. Oh, yes. They want a corner office.
It seemed like one thing that the boomers may have inherited from the traditionalists is those symbols of success.
Oh, yes.
Like the corner office. Or having a nice title, a nice job title. Let's move on to the Generation X. What are some of the forces that have shaped that generation?
Nixon, Watergate. Here's the President of the United States going down. He resigned because of this scandal. And there were a lot more scandals than that. But so that kind of thing, I think they were, they became more skeptical for some reason. It's also that they were latchkey kids, meaning that their parents were working, their boomer parents were off working, doing careers. And so they came home from school to an empty house. And they became very independent. And so again, with the diversity issue, they're independent. They're also very adaptable, very flexible, very creative. But one of the things to motivate a Gen Xer is to say, here's the work that I think you want to do. I trust you to do it well. Do it however you want. They don't look at authority the way either of the other 2 generations we've talked about do. It's more like they don't necessarily respect authority. They've seen it screw up too many times. So why are you telling me to do this?
So maybe credibility is more important than authority. So you need to earn the respect. You won't get it automatically by virtue of your position.
Because they're skeptical. But then they might come. And so if you're hiring or if you're working with someone in your workplace who tends to be that way, you need to play on their abilities and their independence and their adaptability, and also to offer them training that'll get them their career.
Right.
See,
So
whereas,
the career-minded.
whereas your dad wanted to have a job security,
Mm-hmm.
and boomers wanted to have a career that was just wonderful, stellar, probably with the same company or at least a similar field.
Mm-hmm.
Gen Xers want to have a portable career.
Mm.
They want to be able to get as many skills as they can and take the skill sets and apply them in different places.
Right. So it sounds like they get a high degree of satisfaction, or they're highly motivated to be able to learn and apply
Right.
where the need is.
Yeah, and they get a bad rap. They're called slackers, and they're because they don't have that bowing down to authority.
Exactly. So that blind allegiance, so to
Yeah.
speak. Let's move now into the millennials. Let's talk
Okay.
about them a little bit. What were some of the things that have shaped that generation?
Well, on the bad side, there's Columbine, and there's
Mm.
September 11th, and they've seen that. But they've also had technology in the palm of their hands 24/7
Mhm.
in their bedroom all the time. So they are raised on technology. They know it backwards and forwards. And I think when I mentioned the productivity, that could be something that they would really, if you only asked them, make a
Mhm.
huge difference in the workforce and in the workplace. Because they
Mhm.
tend to be realists because they have seen things in their face.
Mhm.
But they're also hopeful, and they kind of share the Gen X idea that they don't want to follow, the corporate ladder and make money. Just
Right.
that's all. They actually want to give back. They're the give back generation.
Okay.
They want to make a difference.
They want to make a difference. Mhm.
Yeah.
And not necessarily moving vertically in an
No,
organization.
not at all.
Okay.
And I didn't mention Gen Xers. One of the things they want is balance. They want
Balance.
their life. And
Right.
I've seen these people do this. I've seen what
Yeah.
happens at the end of the day. I've seen my parents' retirement go away.
Exactly.
I'm going to live. I'm going to climb mountains and swim, and so I'm just here to work and get as good as I can at it and move to different places.
Exactly.
move
Work has
around.
its place in my life.
And
Mhm.
millennials millennials would want parallel careers. They want to learn this, but they also want to learn that. The
Yeah.
most important thing you can give to millennials is training and coaching.
Mm.
They are
Mhm.
hungry for anything,
Right.
and particularly if they come through schools that aren't as good as others.
Right.
They're hungry for training and for learning more about it, so that they're multitaskers, so they can do this and then they can do that. And if can I run a kitchen and also
Yeah,
you know,
exactly. So there's a lot of skills they're going to be bringing to the workplace. They're
Absolutely.
multitasking. They're very savvy with technology. They're
Yeah.
probably very efficient.
and they're hopeful.
And they're hopeful. That optimism.
And they also have a civic outlook, and
Mhm.
and if you talk to some of them, the environment is a huge thing. So,
Right.
I saw on your show last week about green careers,
Mhm.
or last time about green careers, and it's perfect because they want to make a difference and want to save the
Mhm.
environment, and we're also looking for people that can fill in green careers
Exactly.
or create them.
And be innovative with new technology.
Yes. And
So-
so it's a little bit hopeful. I
Yes.
mean, when people say, "Oh, these young people don't know anything," well,
Mhm.
ask.
Yeah, definitely,
You
definitely.
know?
Ask, listen, and learn.
Right.
Terri, I want to thank you so much for walking us through the four
Yeah,
generations in the
welcome.
workplace. It was refreshing to hear again some of the forces that have shaped the generations and some of the things that folks can do in the workplace. If you want to learn more from Terri, let me give you some contact information. Her website is tbenterprises.com, and you can email Terri at terri@tbenterprises.com. And her phone number is 916-359-3007. And if you're interested in providing feedback to me about this show or any ideas for future shows, please email me at brianmoffitt@comcast.net or visit our website at www.goodworknow.com. And next time we're going to be focusing on emotional intelligence, getting in touch with your emotions and how to best manage them in the work environment. And until next time, keep up the good work, and thank you so much for watching.